land of ice and snow. And fortunately, we, as part of our purchase agreement, new boiler was put in. So we really haven't.
The only thing we've had, our Nest thermometer kind of messed up our heat at one point.
Yeah, the smart thermometer kind of didn't play well for a little bit, but actually that was more like we were stressing our.
But it was because.
It was because, yeah.
New features. Yeah, do you like the chicken, Paul?
Sometime we get a chance, David, you can take your camera, boiler, and do us. I can tell you all.
Can you make a gallery view?
Yeah.
Actually, that's not how you do it.
Yeah, he can take care of it.
One.
Go for this.
Oh, buddy, you're frozen.
This is yours cut up, okay? The bite of that. No, not that part. You hold it like this. And take a bite like this.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, happy Friday, everyone.
Thank goodness we made it.
That's it, bud. Good job.
Right, it's Friday.
Just like every other day.
Is it yummy?
Happy snow day.
Can you let that?
Is this all right?
No. No, I don't wanna read
Been
it.
a while, Matthew. How you doing?
Going right?
We are doing great. We are doing great. Can't help but be reminded that we're in the midst of a change in routines, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't hope that I know we all think about our immune system and how well we're doing with spacing, etc. But every day it seems there's a story about how people bolster their immune system, and it helps them tremendously when they end up being on the wrong side of COVID. So that's my public announcement for the day. If you haven't really inventoried your immune system, now's a great time to do it.
So Matthew, apart from the things that were recommended by the physician whose video you sent out, what else are you doing?
Well, it's not just more than that. It's more the issue of the timing and how immediately you jump on heightening your addressing of the COVID if in fact you're showing symptoms, or you get a positive test without symptoms. We've had various people that we know who did the classic, went to the hospital, got confirmed. They said, go home and come back if you're really feeling ill. Well, that 3, 4, 5 day loss is tremendously detrimental.
So you mean the 3, 4, 5 days between them being sent home and
Things getting worse.
right? Well,
Exactly.
I mean, we certainly know that even, we've known that for years in terms of just managing viruses. I mean, we know that if we feel something coming down, if I take echinacea 2 or 3 times in a 6 or 7 hour period, I can go from feeling like I'm about to get hit really hard with a throat and headache and everything to feeling the next morning absolutely fine. And we stave things off when they hit pretty quickly. We try to jump on stuff with echinacea or zinc.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Glad you made it. Woo!
I think the only thing I would add to that, Dana, is going the next level, which is really into the steroid prescription arena, and having a doctor who's willing on day one to say, I'll write you the script. And so that's what Melody was able to do, was get our doctor to write a script for steroids and other things that were then put in the nebulizer that we ordered and had in 14 hours later. And that's what's critical
Oh.
from my perspective relative to
What
COVID.
steroid? And you're talking about once you'd already been diagnosed?
Let me,
Hi,
let me,
Melody. Hi, Melody.
unplug so
Hi,
that
Melody.
Melody can hear. Can you come right here and unplug? Hold on. Your phone's out. Go back. Can we hear you?
Yes,
You hear us?
yes.
So what's the magic steroid?
So Dana's question was, what was the steroid that I went on?
Oh, it was a nebulizer steroid. I have to go look at my notes. I don't remember the actual name of it offhand. It's a cortisone. Oh, I can't remember the full name of it. I can put it in an email.
So this was though after you had been diagnosed.
Correct.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he started it that night.
So I came down on symptoms with Thursday, confirmed. Right. The dogs are unhappy. We just ran in the house and we've not given them nearly the 10-minute attention that they need before they'll go back to sleep. So they're going to get that 10-minute attention one way or the other. So the doctor wrote the script literally Friday afternoon, hours after I had received a positive test at a Central Care, which is a local urgent care system. So that's all. Just and one of the things that I hear as doctors talk about the nebulizer process is to make sure to get one that is, I think of it as a shelf version versus a version that you kind of hold in your hand, because they indicate that the mechanism within the broader model, which is a little more expensive, $70 or $80, is significantly more effective in getting the process into your system than the kind of held, which is $30. So you have to make that decision to spend the extra 50 but if you need it, it's well worthwhile.
Right.
So you were prescribed the nebulizer as well? Did you order it online or did you run out and get it?
Online, and it came the next day.
Right.
I don't think we needed do we need a prescription for the nebulizer?
No,
No.
no.
Just-
eBay.
eBay.
No,
Those are other-
Amazon. I think I got it off of Amazon actually, not eBay.
So anyway, it's just one of those things that when we know it's coming, as you're saying, Dana, you know, relative to other things you can feel coming. But I think with COVID, you really have to be prepared to jump into the prescription model and
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi,
have
Odessa.
a doctor that
Hi.
No Grampy today, just Grandma Holly.
This is Grandma
And
Holly.
Not
Not
Jeff,
the big fun guy.
and Dan, and Kim, and Matt, and Melody, and Brian.
Kim.
Kim, there's Kim,
Kim.
exactly, that's Kim.
Yay!
Dana,
This is.
Joseph. You see, can you wave back at Joseph? You say hi, you wave.
Hi.
Is there anyone else you want to say hi to?
Uh-huh.
Who else do you want to say hi to? Grampy's not on. honey.
Let's say hi to Paul Maria.
Zoom call.
Zoom call, yeah.
Oh my God.
Zoom call.
This is your Zoom call. What?
Weepy Zoom call.
We're gonna do a Grampy Zoom call on Tuesday. But we've got Grandma Holly and Matt
Stop
and
liver.
Ron. Hi, Bron.
Hi, Paul. Hi. You're real good at that name.
Okay, we'll go back to muting now. You guys can go back to grown-up conversation.
We're getting any of the other young ones tonight? How are Ashley and Morgan and Sam, Lindsay doing?
Sam's gonna be on, but late. Ashley's had a leaking water heater and an HVAC unit that was on the replacement schedule that finally got done this week, so she's frustrated and on edge.
She has a
Here.
leaking water heater? That's no fun.
Last Saturday, and they replaced it on Monday. Fortunately, it wasn't a huge leak, but it ruined 3 of her bookcases.
Oh.
And they had
Sure, I'm glad not to be in Texas right now, that's for sure.
unless El Paso, apparently El Paso's in the western grid. Found that out on the news today.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Awful.
Pipes bursting and, oh God, what a mess. What a mess. Happy to have it at 68 degrees right here, right now.
Oh, look at the doggy.
Oh, there's that girl.
And David and Jamie, the other young people. Lots of young people.
I'm not sure where David, Judy, and Laura are.
Hi, Odessa.
And Jamie had some event to go to tonight, and Lauren had a
And
date.
Oh, all right.
Hi, Odessa.
Paul, do you have a lot of snow there? Lots of snow? We are finally getting a break from snow, but we're going to go snowshoeing tomorrow, which I haven't done in years. So we'll see. It's going to be a good workout.
That'll be fun.
Work the core.
How deep is it going?
Will you go in your woods or are you going someplace else?
Well, we thought we'd go down the road to Finley State Park. There's a nice mile or two loop. So we'll check that out. Sorry, my internet's so bad. I can't hear everything, but yeah, get our exercise for the day. A lot better than going on the treadmill.
Yep. It's Kim I can't hear very well for some reason.
Yeah, I can't hear Odessa either for some reason.
Well, they've got it muted.
Oh,
There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Hi, Odessa.
Hi.
Unless you can talk about school.
Oh, that's right.
Don't run away from
Or
them,
not.
but just don't
Or
run
not.
away. You
Yeah, they had school today, I think.
Wow. How was it, Odessa?
It's the end of my second week.
Right.
wow.
How did it go?
Do you know all the Spanish now? But you can, how do you say, how can you ask to go to the bathroom?
I don't know.
You just told us like an hour ago.
don't want to tell them?
Sometimes I accidentally get it wrong.
That's okay. That's what learning is all about.
Try it.
Mom actually gets a lot of things wrong every day. You're gonna tell them this? No, okay. Great, talk about please. She, one circle.
Who's down here? Sarah? Sarah there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Good.
How you doing, Sarah?
This says
fine.
Davies.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ron, on the spirit of back to school, how is your status?
Well, in terms of the vaccine, I get my first shot on Friday, which is great, and probably Matt as well.
Yay!
So I'm starting to break the ice. I think starting Monday, I'll be back at the high school at the end of the day. There's only 5 kids in person there, and then 20 kids online. So I'll try that out, and still have a sub at the middle school, so I'm teaching them through Zoom. But pretty soon we'll stop doing that. So back to 3 schools a day and all the craziness that goes with it. But we're getting back in the groove.
So your first dose of vaccine is next Friday.
Right. Yep. A week from today. So it's exciting. I think.
It is exciting. I was very excited to get mine. I was like,
Oh, so you got it, Holly? All
Uh-huh.
right.
Dana got me the appointment. I never got through. And they've, because of the weather, other places, they aren't making any more appointments for people, at least in this county, for until, I guess, they get the doses. So they're not, the last 2 times, Wednesday and today, they did not, at least Publix did not run that program, call up and try to get an appointment.
Did you see, Holly, that the Fed just announced they're opening 4 sites, the federal government, FEMA, throughout Florida, including one in Fort Myers?
I didn't see that.
So I think there's one in Fort Myers. There's one down near your area. It might not be, but I think it's down near your area. And so there's a website. It's myvaccine.fl.gov.
Yeah, that's the one you register for, and they're gonna call you.
Right.
Which I did do that.
Right.
And Randy did do that. And I haven't talked to Randy. I don't know if he got a call or not. So, but I'm staying on my track for what I'm doing.
Right. I think that they're going to have, these are additional doses beyond what Florida's been allotted. I think 2,000 per day at each site.
That's great.
Starting within 2 weeks, I think.
It's great for people who want it, for anybody who wants it. It's great to have it available.
It's still going to be 65 and over, I think, to begin with.
Right.
So Holly, you got your vaccine or you're scheduled to get it?
I got it on Valentine's Day in St. Pete. At Publix in St. Pete.
And you'll go back?
Yep.
In a month?
The 14th of March.
Perfect. Good.
Day we closed, it's our 1-year anniversary.
Great. What?
That was the 1-year anniversary. That will be the 1-year anniversary of Smithsonian closing.
Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased. I mean, I feel very relieved about it, and part of the reason is I can start thinking about, at least thinking about going and seeing them.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I feel good about that. Feel comfortable, more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Still wearing my mask, still doing the same thing, but
Still got to do all that. Vaccine doesn't.
what?
Vaccine doesn't reduce the need for that. You still have to.
No. No, it doesn't. I don't think it does. No. No, I'm very happy. I'm Dana getting through and getting that appointment was like a miracle. Really. It's just not easy for people. And even Dana had a hard time. I mean, she can tell you she was stressed with the process. Process was not fun.
That's just like, yeah.
Well, you sit cursing at the screen, because it's not doing what it's not cooperating, and all my cursing never came to anything. I never got lucky. But now we gotta try to get Randy on done.
Yes, and I hope by the time they're opening it up beyond 65 that we're not all going to be on trying to get to this through this lottery, because the website it just leaves an enormous amount to be,
Right,
it's very clunky and very difficult
right,
to go fast enough to get an appointment.
right. There are probably some tricks, but I don't know what they are. Some people swear that there are tricks, but I don't know what they are. But Randy's got, I will do it. I will look for him. His friend Mary Vollmer will look for him. He'll give it his best shot eventually. And he's only willing to go in Lee County. He won't go anywhere else. So whatever he can get will be here. Has to be here or he's not interested.
We're walking.
But I'm happy for you, Bronwyn, because I think it's really important for teachers to be able to get shots if they want them.
Yeah, well, there's certainly some guilt involved of just like, there are other people who need them more, but it's like, well, I'm not going to be allowed to teach like this for long, so it's either get the shot or not have a job, I guess. So, hey, Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Sam the man.
Sorry I'm late. Hope everybody's well.
I'm well.
Good.
Good.
How you doing?
You're Zoom on time, which is fine. You're on time for like Zoom time.
Oh.
Yeah. I hear that.
So Bronwyn, since your area is in the midst of returning to school and rolling out the vaccines, do you have some of the teachers that are not interested in getting the vaccine but interested in resuming the school process? Are there some like that?
I think so. I really actually don't know any personally, but it's certainly been said many times by our superintendent that they are not requiring it, but they are strongly suggesting it. And they said, again, we have extras in case some of you are still deciding to get it, which blows my mind that any teacher wouldn't take this opportunity to do this. But so I assume that there are some still out there that are going to continue with the teaching. We start 4 days a week, April 6th. So now we're 2 days in person. So that will be a big shift. And it's insane just teaching kids on Zoom and in person at the same time. Teachers are really feeling, you can feel the unrest, which I'm sure you've all heard about in the country, just unions and issues and just teachers being stretched far beyond what many seem to be able to want to handle and not being given the time to prepare for all these extra assignments and asynchronous learning, and you're teaching double. We're all trying to get through it. Just get us to May, let's just get to May. I'll be happy.
April 6th is the target date for going to 4 days a week. Is there a target for 5?
It hasn't been said yet. It's a good question. Fourth quarter is April 6th. So we've sort of been doing by quarter. We've done something different for each quarter. So I wouldn't be surprised that we continue 4 days a week for the rest of the year. But, that could change.
Right.
When is the year over?
June 3rd, I think, somewhere around there. So we're pretty early June. So,
And you have a spring vacation?
yep, March 20th, I think, because we have about a week off. So I'm working. I'm hosting my second and third Baldwin Wallace Conservatory students. They join me on Zoom and observe the class, and I help. They help teach and I give them feedback. So I always do that. I almost always have a student teacher every year or a couple. But having one on Zoom has been interesting. So they're actually getting shots as well, which is kind of bizarre since they'll only see students like once their whole time that they're with me. But somehow the school's offering them a shot, which seems a little odd to me. But it is what it is, and I'm glad for them. But it's like one exposure with kids and they get a shot.
Only takes 15 minutes of exposure to get a good dose. So.
Yeah, well, that's true. And there are students who say to me, you know, my dad has COVID or I'm sick and I have COVID. And I don't know, these are high schoolers, middle schoolers, so you think they would know. But then nobody seems to know about them. There's no, so you mention it to somebody, they're like, oh, we didn't know that. So it's like, where's the reporting? I just don't, it's happened a couple times where my students say, yeah, I've been out sick with COVID and nobody seems to know. Nobody official, you know. That's just a little worrisome. Kids are coming to school and may or may not be sick and not telling anybody and it's not being reported. And it's like, oh gosh, how close was I in the hallway to that child?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, Christina is definitely feeling your anguish over going back to school and all the extra lessons that she has to come up with for her students.
What is Christina teaching? How did I miss that?
She teaches 7th grade English.
Oh, wow.
And so she's been doing all the online classes and helping her teachers come up with different, like tying things together to help everything go more smoothly, but it's just like never ending. And she just got her first dose of the vaccine 2 weeks ago. So
good.
Yep.
So how does she manage? Does she have? We're always getting like mental health emails and you know,
right,
which everybody in the country, we all are struggling with this. Just such a strain. So what are her tips?
Oh, I mean, she also has a teaching assistant, like a assistant teacher in some of her classes that is only meant for, there's a few kids with like learning assistant, like they're called IEPs, which is just like a kid who needs sort of extra help, and they're just kind of in the system to help keep track of them and give them the help that they need. So that teacher is specifically there for that. But I don't know, she's definitely ready for the end of the year to come because she's feeling burned out.
I bet. Wow.
And they'll be going, they're also doing the sort of opening back up the schools here or in Maryland because she's a teacher in Maryland. But her phase is, she'll be teaching in April. It's sort of a limited rollout with, you know, like the special program, like this smaller program kids. And then the regular classes are going at a later time. But the funny thing about, they've kind of, I'm sure they I don't know if they've done this out there, but they did a survey for all the parents, and like only most parents don't want their kids to go back. It's only the humanities kids that want to go back. And those families tend to be a little bit better off in a way, I think. And a lot of her students are like English second language people, and there may be some families that are undocumented. So there's like a lot of people living in the same house, and they may or may not have access to healthcare. And if they get sick, then they may not be able to get better. And so they're not trying to go back to school. They're not trying to be in person, risking exposure. So yeah, they're going to have the same thing where if and when she does go back into school, there may be a handful of kids there, but she's still going to be doing Zoom classes to the kids that are at home. And the kids that are in the classroom will also be doing Zoom classes. So it's not like anybody's going to be having a normal education at this point in time.
Oh, it's been anything but normal, huh? So maybe in the fall, it's kind of rebooting and having a more normal year, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, yeah. And by then, hopefully more people will be vaccinated, but I don't know if I don't think kids are getting vaccinated at this point. They haven't tested it, so yeah.
Well, you can hear the fourth grade students coming down the hallway because they've all got these big, I don't know, Dan Lincoln, if Odessa has to have one of these huge plexiglass, not, like plastic dividers that they carry everywhere. And they have little handles and they're huge, they're like almost the size of the poor kid. And they're holding them with their lunchbox and like some books and they're clanging them and they're bouncing around. So it's like this clatter of children as they go down the hall.
So they have
Huh?
They have riot shields.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yes.
They hold them in front of themselves.
Well, not on purpose. I don't think it's just the easiest way to hold it. I don't think they're trying to like shield as they walk, but it's just easiest that way. So they're just clanking down.
Brahma, that's in addition to being masked up.
Yeah.
I don't think Odessa has, I think she has dividers in her classroom, but I do not think that they are, other than their masks, I don't think they're carrying around anything other than being able to, encourage to have hand sanitizer and that kind of stuff, which, isn't as.
Wouldn't it just be easier for them all to wear face shields with the masks?
Probably.
One would think.
We're doing that when we have to work within 6 feet.
What, Daniel?
Daniel, I can't hear you, Daniel.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. We're doing that when we have to work within 6 feet. The task is assigned. It requires somebody within 6 feet of someone else. They wear their face mask and they wear a face shield. And then if they want, they can wear an N95. Test the N95. And of course, I couldn't do that because you never get the right fit with a whisker face. It's just steps of protection.
I was in the dermatologist's office on Monday and none of those people have had shots yet, which they're not happy about.
Is that a general thing in Florida where even the health workers are?
I don't know. They seem to think that they should be in line for them, but they haven't gotten them yet. And they're seeing people all the time in very close proximity, I mean.
Bless you, Mom.
Thank you.
Our souls.
Some of them do
What is
wear.
your doctor saying about you getting a vaccine?
What?
Matthew,
I'm sorry.
what is your doctor saying about you getting a vaccine?
That's not really a discussion we've had.
What do you think?
Are you asking whether or not it's been suggested that I do?
Well, yeah, or if you are thinking you will go ahead.
That's a different question.
Well, I said or.
Yeah, I think I fall into the wait and see category as information comes out. I don't personally have an urgent need to go and get the vaccine. I don't know that I could probably convince the medical spectrum that I qualify, but I'm not pursuing that path at this point.
Right. I mean, I imagine your antibodies will be good for a certain amount of time.
Well, that's one theory. That's correct. I'll
And
go back to where I started
not,
is,
not a theory, it's science, and it can be measured actually, right, in your blood.
so sure. I haven't done that.
Right.
That question. I'll go back to what I started with. What I feel most strongly about is being prepared for the response should I or people around me end up getting it. Being really aggressive in the first 72 hours. I know that sounds stupid, but 72 hours goes by very
It
quickly.
sure does.
If you're starting to create your plan, once you get a positive, I think the way our system works, it's too late because the system works to have you go away until you're really ill. And that's not the formula.
That's where the vaccine sort of gives you a booster. It's not a preventative. It just sets your system up to be able to fight off more quickly, right? So then all those other things become incremental, right? The additional zinc, the echinacea, all those things are incremental protection to help you fight off the virus.
So they're proactive, incremental. In other words, right now we can all take a tally of, are we up to speed? Because we don't have COVID. That's the thing I'm trying to get people to think about is each individually saying, am I up to speed on all those possible immunization boosters that are being discussed? And then secondarily, if you get, for even with those boosters, if you get COVID, are you ready within the first 24 hours? Do you have the system set up to really aggressively treat it? Because the system, the health system is not set up for that.
Hey, Morgan. Well, I will call you. I will call you if I find myself feeling ill. That's for sure.
I want to make sure, Dan, you had mentioned echinacea. I feel a need to just tell you this, is that it's fine to take echinacea prior to getting COVID, but the minute that you start feeling any aches and pains and you have any suspicion that you may have COVID, stop any type of immune booster, period. That's what really, do not take echinacea, because echinacea will actually increase your immune response, which sets your body even further into what they call that cytostorm event on day 5, and you don't want that. So it's fine to take an immune booster now if you want, but don't immediately stop it should you have, which is the same way in any kind of viral type of disease. It's not just COVID, but any type of viral, you want to stop that immediately.
Huh.
Well, actually, my understanding of using echinacea is it's not a maintenance immune booster. It's actually something to use in the first 24 to 48 hours of feeling something. I hear what you're saying about that cytokinetic storm, though, that they're talking about, that immune response. And Matthew, I think, in your understanding, are primary physicians at this point willing to say, if you call within 24, like they've just approved another Tamiflu type drug within 24 to 72 that you can get prescribed right away. If you think you have the flu, I'm forgetting the name of it, but I hadn't seen it before. And recently there was a new one approved in this country. And I would imagine that if you're known by your primary with risk for COVID, that if you called and said, look, I was exposed and I think I have it, I think my primary would be willing to prescribe a steroid if I said, you know, I want to give this a try. And again, it's because I don't have any other, you know, I don't have anything else that he might be concerned about, probably. That, you know, that would be my guess. And they're short-term runs of steroid anyway. They're not, you know, they're not long-term runs, really. But I think it's having that relationship with the primary and being able to call and say, you know, we've been exposed, we think we have it.
And that's without a confirmation of a rapid test, Dana?
Well, that's a good question, you know, and you know, Sarah, here testing is still problematic.
It's here too. I mean, I did not know that the woman who froze to death actually died from COVID. And my mammo, which was scheduled a week and a day after the last day that I had seen her, the only other person I knew associated with her that I had a number to ask for, I finally got a hold of him on the morning of the day that my mammo was scheduled. And I'm saying do you know if she was tested for COVID when she went into the hospital? He says, I don't know. I have to check with the cousin or the nephew. I said, please do that as fast as you can. So I didn't have any symptoms except for the mega migraine that I got when I found out she'd passed away. And that lasted from Thursday to Saturday in the middle of the day. And so other than that particular indictment of my health, I felt my usual self for the next couple of days. The mammo had been scheduled for the Wednesday in the afternoon. And as I was walking through the door to the x-ray room, I get a call from this guy. And of course, I had called him earlier in the day. Couldn't answer it. And then talked to him when I got done and went out to the car. Yes, of course, she had COVID. Now, when I found that out, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, even though they had double face shields and everybody was wearing gloves and disposable pens for filling out your information and everybody spaced and da-da-da-da-da-da, I had been worried enough about it to call my coach, who also works for NIH in the COVID category, and explained my circumstances to her that morning because I hadn't gotten a hold of him. And she said, be honest with you, Sarah, they're going to be so prepared to battle anything that you bring in. You're going in with a mask on anyway, and you're being very careful, and they're going to do your temp check, and they're going to, you know, give you hand sanitizer, and you're just going for a mammogram. They're not going to, aside from the woman who's manipulating you, you're not going to be within range of anything. So I wouldn't cancel that if you don't have to. So I left there and immediately asked somebody else and made an appointment for the very next morning for around the corner and up the street at a MedStar for a rapid test. But when I got there, they wouldn't give me a rapid test. They would only give me a regular test, which meant my results would be within 3 to 5 days. And that afternoon, I had been scheduled for an MRI, and the next day was my DC license renewal, which had taken me 8 months to get. And so when the nurse came in to confirm my information, I asked her specifically about those two things, and she said, yeah, cancel them, reschedule. And I said, oh, joy.
So you think you were exposed to somebody?
It was exposed.
Yes, I was exposed. This is a woman that I've been taking care of and things to, and I had seen her and dropped off soup and something to eat on Tuesday, and I hadn't seen her Wednesday, but somebody did a wellness check on her Thursday, and they found her. And she technically was dead, but as they were putting her in the ambulance, one of the EMTs got a pulse, so they took her to a hospital, the Washington Hospital Center. I thought she had passed away. When I got to her house, the police officer was filling out the report, told me that they'd found a pulse. But since I wasn't a family member, I was not entitled to any information, period.
Right.
Zip zero. And that is the critical key here, is that you can't be prepared for anything anyway, necessarily, without having the information to work
Well,
with.
it was just a funny, not funny, but just bad timing. You know, that you had those appointments and then that.
But I'm talking about what
exposure.
Matthew said in terms of being proactive, Holly, as opposed to, I didn't automatically think at that point that COVID entered the picture because she lived a very solitary existence. She lived by herself, and I don't know how much socializing she did. I didn't see her all the time by any means, but obviously, and I don't know how much you contributed to her final outcome.
It doesn't matter.
The point is that it was included in the equation, but I couldn't find out anything about it. And it didn't really occur to me until I figured out that I was actually going to be with a lot of other people that might be affected by it. So I spent the 2 weeks, the Tuesday to Tuesday to Tuesday, the following Tuesday, sequestered like I was supposed to, just in case.
Right.
I didn't. Bad.
Sir, you did get tested?
I did get tested at MedStar, yes, and I got my result. They texted me and then called me with my result on Sunday evening.
The result was?
Negative.
Tested again 5 days later?
Say again?
Did you get tested again 5 days later?
No.
But it was how many days after you were exposed to her that you got tested?
Well, I saw her Tuesday. The following Wednesday, which was a week and a day, 8 days, was the day I found out. So the very following morning, I got tested on the Thursday.
Right.
Nice pajamas, Paul.
And I know that if I had experienced anything that was really obvious in terms of whatever symptoms they were, everybody kept talking about symptoms, which really didn't mean anything to me because I wasn't following anybody that actually had it, with the exception of Matthew. And I didn't seem to, I couldn't relate to anything anybody was talking about.
I'm sorry to make you rehash all of that, but I'm glad you're.
No, I guess my point is, Sam, that you can't know either way unless you're actually in good communication. It's not like I could pick up the phone and say, hey, your aunt just went into the hospital. Do you know what happened when she got there? And did she get tested? Well, it turns out that my friend who worked at NIH says every single patient now, regardless of their circumstances, gets tested for COVID going in, regardless of the period.
Absolutely.
But that didn't occur to me automatically. I thought, her situation was different.
Hey, Holly, we can see your, you've got your little hat off.
Oh, yeah. See? Just got a bald spot.
Cool.
Huh?
Way.
What?
My mom is laughing like a witch.
I know. Well, it's pretty witchy.
No, I'm not. She sent me a photograph with a little like bandage on top, a tiny little hat.
They always put this this weird little lumpy bandage. I guess it's to create pressure where they put the stitches.
The drain.
So this time, instead of being I had one over my eye a couple weeks ago, and it's only for the first 48 hours. And then you take it off and, but it looked really funny sitting on top of my head. It looked like a big wart.
How many
or
stitches
something.
is that for?
I don't know. Can't see it.
You don't know how many they put in? You didn't ask them?
I did not ask.
Put up
I
to
would
the camera,
say-
we'll tell you.
You
Huh?
have to get really close so we could count them.
Yeah.
Or
Can you see it?
I can't tell what's hair and what's stitches.
I know. Well,
And
one's
that's
this
okay.
way.
If you just cut a wider swath around the top.
Oh,
you'd look
good. More hair gone.
Like, it'd be like
I
19
loved when they were shaving my head. I'm like, oh, yeah.
like 70s
And
grandpa.
I'm supposed to wear a
There you go.
band-aid on it, but it's ridiculous. It doesn't stick to my,
Right.
So it's okay. It's fine. Doesn't hurt. It's healing.
That's good.
It's great. And it's probably not the last one.
Well,
I have a
it's great they found it. It's a
I have
good
a sneaking suspicion it's not the last one they'll find. And it's every 6 months checkup at the dermatologist that I do. They'll
I do it
probably-
too, Holly.
What?
I do it too.
I know, and I'm sorry in some ways that I abused myself so badly, but hey,
I'm not.
that's how it goes. It's done. It's done. The damage is done.
Right.
Morgan,
It's
what's
just
up? Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, Morgan, what's up with you? You made it through Valentine's Day with your company.
Yep.
How was it all? What's new with you?
Well, it was fine. We lost 2 people over the weekend.
What do you mean?
Well, one person quit and one person got fired on Valentine's Day.
Oh, great.
Is it because they put packing peanuts in the boxes?
No. I mean, it's going great. I have a lot of responsibility and I'm managing a lot of people who are new. So it's a lot.
But you're
I mean,
you're up
it
to
is what
right?
it is.
You're
What?
up to it. You're up to it.
Yes, I am. I just am not up to doing much else after that,
Right.
which is okay.
are those newer people newer than you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great, because from their perspective, you've been there for years.
Yeah, I know. But sure, whatever. I mean, it's great. I'm enjoying it. It's a great product. I know a couple people who are here have tried it, and I hope that you are impressed and will come back. But we're dealing with a lot of things, and there's a lot of factors that are out of our control. And company morale is low. And
Did that have to do
we
with
need to-
shipping for your product on that day?
no, it has to
And
do
a
with
ro-
COVID.
Oh, does it?
Everything has to do with fucking COVID these
Right.
days. Excuse my French.
Say hi.
So it's tough because we have to be physically there to do the job. People are stressed out and there's a lot of chaos. So it's good that there's new people like me to be brought in who have experience with sort of quelling that chaos. But then, things happen and we fire somebody because they lost us almost $2,000 in revenue. Yeah, it's tough because now we all have to sort of pick up the pieces. We're a small company. There's less than 25 people in the company. So when somebody's gone, that job needs to be
Done by somebody.
and it, a lot of it's falling to me because
Ooh.
I seem to be acting like I got my shit together, which is, hey,
That's because you do.
yeah, like today I just was given a task. Actually, it was yesterday. I'm going to be in charge of running all of our 3PL services. And for those of you who don't know what 3PL is, it basically is like Grubhub. But we're going to be using 7 different platforms.
Wow.
So that got hit to me today at about 4 p.m. And there's a major storm outside. So a lot of people can't get into work because a lot of people don't drive because it's Philly and having a car in this city is horrible. So, it's lots of,
Right.
and tomorrow I'm going to Rittenhouse Market to work the market, and I have to get up at 5:30. So I'm not going to stay on long. But it's great. I'm really enjoying the job. I mean, I have a lot of control, which I wasn't expecting after a month and a half, but hey.
That's good.
I guess that means good things. The boss and I are like, BFF, because basically she and I are on the phone all day.
Wow.
She's going through an enormous amount. We're moving it to a new space, and we're also in the middle of, the start of tax season. And she's got to hire new people. And we've got like 3 new hires that we're still in the process of training who are in like their second week.
It'll be better when the weather is better, right? I mean, that will
It'll be
improve.
better when we get vaccinated as a company. I'm sorry, I must sound like a crazy person, and I look like it. But when we all get vaccinated and people stop fucking complaining about it, excuse my French, then we will be able to function as a real company. Because we need to get vaccinated as a company. And just yesterday, Philadelphia announced that 1B, which is our tier, is being considered now this is going to be hysterical, but we're considered now that we are able to do that. Unfortunately, I don't know if people have been reading the news. Lots of stuff has happened in the city with the vaccination organizations that have been running things here. And unfortunately, even though we're in that tier, for whatever reason, the only site at the moment that is accepting people who are not eligible by age or for medical reasons, but just by your profession, our zip code is not included.
We saw that.
Gosh.
On the news.
So of course, everybody's freaking out because everyone's like, oh, shouldn't it be based on where I live? And I'm like, I'm in the same zip code as the work. So I don't know. I don't have the answers to this. And 2 of our managers called out today. So there was just me and this other guy. And I was like, at one point I locked the office because people kept coming in. I was like, Sammy, I think we just need to pretend we're not here. We were making the joke that we're going to get t-shirts that say I don't know, I just work here. Have you heard that expression? I don't have the answers. We want to get vaccinated too, but just go make chocolate and we'll talk to you soon. Sounds terrible, but
yeah.
So,
well, hopefully, hopefully that will happen quickly and we can get the people who want to be vaccinated can get vaccinated, I hope.
But as the fact that we are required to be on site, legally, they need to be setting it up for us. It is not my responsibility, me. I mean,
right.
Who the hell knows? Maybe in a week it will be my responsibility. Let's not count our chickens too early. But at this point, it's not my responsibility to make sure these 20 people are vaccinated. But everybody is anxious because we work in a row home. I mean, it's you guys. Some of you know South Philly, but it's an old building. There's 4 floors, and we have had to change everybody's schedule. All the hourly employees have been cut. Their hours have been cut so that we're not too many in the space at the same time. People aren't happy with that because they're losing money and they want to know when we're going to be able to be there, with less risk because we have to be there. It's not like we can work remotely and make chocolate.
Right. Exactly. And that's true of so many businesses, there are just certain things you can't do remotely. None of the physical stuff.
So Morgan.
Nothing to do with food manufacturing can be done remotely, but we need to get our shit together. My boss needs to get her shit together and make it a priority. It's tax season for a while, so she should be pushing this to the forefront. People want to get vaccinated. It's got to happen.
So Morgan, it was today payday or last Friday?
I don't know. I haven't looked at my bank account, Matt, in a month. What's up? We get paid every 2 weeks. I think it was last week. I don't know. Last week was Valentine's? Dude, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking forward to bed.
There seems to be an association between payday and people not showing up at work.
Oh.
Yeah, well, the weather's been really bad here, Matt.
That too.
So that's the reason why most people haven't been coming in because it's unsafe. And SEPTA is
SEPTA
bad. So people who are coming from Northeast Philly, SEPTA, which is like the public transportation.
Oh, okay.
They run the buses and the trains here. And, you know, there are obviously, you know, people who work at SEPTA are hardworking, but SEPTA as an organization in general, I mean, I noticed being in Philadelphia is a little similar to being in London when it snows. Like everything just stops. Like people just don't know what to do. Like, oh my God, this is the first time it's ever. No, it's not. Like we can figure this out. It's cool.
Yeah.
But we got 6 inches yesterday and today, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's also unsafe. So if people don't feel safe about commuting into work, we're not going to make them come in.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. I think that's it. I don't know what else to say.
It's good.
There are people.
My cat's happy. Look, he's
I
asleep.
know.
He doesn't even need me anymore.
That happens.
All right. I came home tonight, which is like usually I get home around 6, but I came home later tonight, obviously. And he acted like I didn't. He was like, "Who, bitch? Who are you?" Then I fed him. And he's like, "Oh,
All right. That's who you are.
that's that woman again." Yep. But yeah, I've got hand warmers for tomorrow. It's going to be brutal. I think it's supposed to be 20 when I wake up. Mom, you'd love it.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
No.
But I got my little hand warmers.
Good.
And it's only for 5 hours.
Oof.
Good.
Do you have the right shoes? Are you walking up to Rittenhouse?
Mom, I don't have any snowshoes. I've got your lovely Merrells that you've given me, which are not great when it's wet, which I've learned the hard way, but newspaper.
Are you serious? You don't have any
Positive.
boots?
I've had boots for 2 years in case I go to Minnesota.
Nobody sent me boots. Sarah, this is a public service announcement. Don't send me snow boots.
Why?
Because I don't need them. As soon as I get them, snow's going to be gone. And March is here and la da 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 da. I don't need them. I'll find a pair. You know why I don't have snow boots, Sarah? Because I lived abroad for 12 years where it rarely snows. Rarely. It snowed once when I was living in the UK. Once. One
Paul.
day.
You tell him, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
And it snowed at least 3 times since you've been where you are.
I know, but I mean, I don't know if you've noticed how difficult it is to get deliveries. Like, I'm not going to order shit online right now. The USPS service is already under enough pressure for me. It's grand. I just walk in the street. I just don't walk in in puddles. I have rain boots when it's raining, but I mean, no. Do I have duck boots? No. Forgive me.
What
But I've
size
got
are your
plenty of
feet, Morgan?
clothes, and I'm very warm, and I've got a waterproof jacket, and
If you are
it's 5
standing,
hours.
if you are standing out in snow and slush, you're gonna notice in Merrill's for sure.
Well, it's supposed to freeze tonight, so hopefully all the snow will be solid. So maybe, I'll just slide on my ass.
No
Some of
kidding.
the hand warmers in the toe of your boots.
That's where I'm going to put them. I have 2 sets. One will go in my pockets, and one will go in my feet.
Do yourself
My
a
mom's-
favor,
my
Morgan.
mom's laughing at me.
If you don't have any boots, and it's obvious you don't,
Sarah, I have so many pairs of boots. If you send me boots, I will send them back. I will send them back. Don't send me boots.
I'm
I
not
love
gonna
you
send
so
boots. I
much.
don't even know
Everybody
what
send
to
Morgan
wear.
boots. Let's do it.
Don't send me
Everybody
boots, Sarah.
send Morgan
Don't
boots.
do it.
What do you mean? Everybody sent me socks for Christ's sake.
Boots are great.
Because you're always complaining about your feet being freezing.
Well, they are.
Well,
I
Morgan,
Sarah,
if you're gonna stand around, because I did this at the food stall that I was at, just
Sarah, I'm not,
Sarah, I didn't send you anything.
rip up a cardboard box and stand on a piece of cardboard. It will make a big difference in terms of how cold you get.
Keep some wine.
We have, Sarah, we have tarp.
That's actually a very, very good suggestion.
It is a great suggestion.
We-
It works.
We had to do that every time we stood on a lake. We brought either cardboard or foam, some kind of foam if we could find it.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody
share
can
my
find a
screen
piece
for
of
half a second.
cardboard.
I will grab some I will grab some in the morning. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
Not fun?
A
That
fake
was a good
fire.
segue, Dan. I like that.
this fire.
wow.
Nice.
Whose fire is that?
Nice fire.
It's a fake fire, Holly.
Oh,
All right, Sarah. There's no Santa Claus.
Damn straight.
Oh no!
It's a very good thing that
I
Odessa's
gotta go, folks. It's time for bed.
Good thing
Oh my
Odessa's
God!
not
Did he
there.
hear me, David? Did he hear me?
Des wasn't in the room. Des is downstairs. This is just
Oh my days! Just ruined your childhood.
no. He doesn't.
Oh my.
He doesn't know what's
See,
going
Mom.
on.
See what you've done to me.
Yes.
It's all mom's fault.
It's all my fault.
Oh,
hey,
Lord.
Paul. Hey,
Oh,
Paul.
I'm mortified. I'm mortified. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm putting myself on mute.
Repeat after me.
I can unmute you.
This is
Well, good luck,
This,
Morgan. Good luck.
Nice
Get
night,
good
Morgan.
night rest and do your best. And you'll be fine.
Are you saying good night,
You're
Paul?
young
Is that
and
what?
strong.
You going to sleep,
You're
Paul?
young and strong.
Ed Lincoln, I'm so sorry.
you're fine.
Oh, I like your puppy.
Oh, so
Paul.
Aw.
I like your puppy.
This is from Grandma Holly for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Puppy puppet.
Ah.
Puppy puppet.
Get your hand.
Odessa hermit crab.
That's awesome.
Hey, Holly,
You do-
one quick question before I jump off. I saw a reference to your email being hacked.
Yeah,
I don't think it
I
was
didn't know-
email.
I
It
didn't
was-
know what
I think
was
it was
going
just her
on.
Facebook account.
I think it was Messenger, which I don't like Messenger because ever since I installed it on my phone, I don't, I've uninstalled it on my phone. I'm not going, gonna just do messages. I installed it because people were writing to me on Messenger and I wasn't getting the messages because I don't use Messenger. So I think when Brahma went to Europe, maybe were
No,
we using
Brahman used
Messenger?
WhatsApp. Brahman used WhatsApp.
right.
Were we using? But
No,
we were also using.
mom, wait.
What?
Messenger is Facebook. It's the
Right.
same thing. If just because you delete Messenger doesn't mean you're getting rid of message. You can't get rid of your messages in Facebook. You can't disable them. Facebook won't let you. So if you go in your Facebook, you'll still see the messages that pop up.
But since
You can certainly get rid of the app, but
I
I
just
believe,
ignore
I
them.
don't know this for sure, but I believe it was your Facebook account that was hacked, which is
Well,
Messenger.
Yes, but what I'm saying is when I started responding and using Messenger a little bit, I noticed that I would get these random messages that from people I didn't know. Just they weren't, and so when I would just delete them. So I don't know why I got why that happened, but anyway, I changed my password and my phone stopped blowing up with whatever was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. I was kind of freaked out by it, to tell you the truth. But
So the reason I raise it,
seems to have calmed down.
the reason I raise it is it looked like one or more of the messages came from Melody, and Melody doesn't use Messenger. So she was concerned. You felt as if she was somehow
No.
sending you rogue messages.
No, I was getting them from almost, my phone was just pinging one right after the other. It was ridiculous. I don't know what was happening. So, and then people were writing to me saying, did you send me this? And I'm like, no. No, I didn't. Anyway, I hope it's squared away now.
Good luck with that. Sounds like David Lincoln is the path to salvation.
Well, I did call him and ask him for help because I was kind of, like I say, I was kind of freaked out. by
We're
the
horrible
thing.
at, we've had, especially as Jill and I, once Jill and I merged our finances, and we have like a family email that we use, like we're pretty, actually very bad at regularly changing our passwords, but we've tried to be better at it because we have had a couple credit cards hacked, which probably weren't password related, but we keep track of the, Google tells us when our passwords are breached, and we've finally been a little bit more responsible about all of that. It is important to change all of that these days because it really happens fast and it snowballs quickly.
It did. It was amazing how quickly it kind of took over my everything.
Life.
Yeah, it was bad. It was not good. And I hear it was X-rated.
I don't know. It was a video, but I didn't.
I didn't see it, but somebody told me, and I kept responding and saying, delete it. Don't look at it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it.
Sam, did you watch it?
Me?
No.
Yeah, you.
No, but I saw the screenshot.
I don't know
of
if you
it.
could watch it. I think if you clicked on it,
Yeah.
it just took you to a
Nothing
weird site
happened.
and probably like ate your credit card.
Yeah, it was not good. Not
So
good.
Holly, did you change your password? Of course.
Yes, right away. As soon as I called David and he said, change your password. I said, change my password to what? I mean, I didn't even know where this was coming from. I didn't know that it was Facebook related or anything.
Dana, it's a good thing you got that COVID appointment for her, because I'm not sure. You might be waiting a while.
Thank you, son.
Children are for.
I always get a
little boomer computer humor for the evening.
Yeah. Paul.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This is from Dan and Kim from a while ago.
Oh. The Davies give the best books.
Yeah, it is a cool book. We don't always can't always find a flashlight, but because they get stolen and hidden from. But they're like little. Yeah, apparently.
Speaking of fish, did you see that little blurb about the thousands of loggerheads, Holly, that they drug out of the water in San Padre Island?
And not just loggerheads, but all sorts of sea turtles.
There was a quick 360-degree film on YouTube for a few seconds, and then they took it down. It was wild.
People were storing them in their cars.
Yeah. They gave them the convention center for like over 4,000 of them.
Right,
but
crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Pretty wild.
It's a good thing they did that, though, because they certainly wouldn't have survived.
Well, think about the ones they didn't get, but at least they got those.
That's right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe that one was cold stone that we saw.
We're unseasonably warm here. I don't know about up where you are, Matthew.
I think it's 29 right now here.
But we're like above the normal February temperature.
Until tonight, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to get chillier tonight.
Yeah.
But not for long, right? Just briefly.
I don't know.
There's another Arctic freeze coming in next week.
Great.
Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know about you, but definitely here.
I'm glad I'm not in Texas. That's what I know.
Yeah, well, Randy Nichols, Robin's sister, lives down there. I Did you send her anything, Dana? I texted her.
I texted her, but I haven't heard back yet.
Same here. Same here. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, well, it's been dire. Not good.
Yeah, and those pipes, boy.
What a mess. That to me, that would be almost, I mean, not having water and not having heat, that's bad, but then to have your pipes burst and
not be able to do anything about it.
yeah, it's horrible.
That's what I was telling Helen. I said, Helen, you're gonna get woken up by this pipe blowing out as you're sitting there in bed. I said, it's that cold in here. If you need to get some heat in this house. One little room isn't gonna cut it. You got to do something about this heat. Now she doesn't have to worry about it, but
that's right.
I'll tell you what, it was as cold or colder inside than it was out.
Right.
Not good. Not good.
I imagine there are a number of elderly people here and there who are in similar straits in Texas.
Oh yeah.
And other places, any place where it's really cold.
I can definitely relate to cold now. My circulation produces a different reaction to it. That's for sure.
That's why you get socks.
Yes, I know. Only they don't all fit, just so you know.
Hey, well, you never give any feedback, so it's really hard to know.
Well, the ones with the little things on the bottom, which are supposed to keep them from sliding, is fine. Unfortunately, if they're large, they just kind of work their way around to the top anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what socks do.
Yeah. So then I'm just tripping over them. But I do wear them to bed all the time.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
I definitely wear them to bed.
Snuggly for bedtime.
Yeah.
Well, kids, I am going to bed. I don't have to work tomorrow.
Woohoo! Well, get some rest, everybody, especially you, Morgan.
Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome, Holly.
You say bye, Paul.
Thank you, Dana.
Bye, Paul.
Bye, Mr. Paul.
Is Maria in bed already, Bronwyn?
No, she's just being a teenager and being standoffish.
Love that.
Ugh.
Is she a teenager already?
Yeah, basically 9 going on 19. My gosh. Like I can't even be in the room and she's like, Mom, like I didn't do anything. I literally just walked. Oh, I feel for my mother and all mothers and all people. It's too much.
Yeah, it is. It can be.
I'm gonna go lock myself in my room, read a book, and pretend like nobody exists.
You have to give her the extra large snowshoes tomorrow.
That's right. I just shove her in the snow.
Is she gonna snowshoe? Is Maria gonna snowshoe?
Yeah, she's got her own little pair from last year. Gift.
Good.
Give it a try. We'll send a picture.
Tell her we said hi.
I will, thanks.
Yeah.
She was standing right next to me, but she didn't want to show her face. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's right. She's entitled, I guess, to
Yeah.
be a teenager, a preteen.
And Mel, it was good to see the puppy tonight.
Say what, Daniel?
I said it was good to see the puppy tonight.
The puppy.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time hearing what you say.
No, I think my my sound is cutting out. Is that better?
A little bit.
Move closer.
You just sound like you're far away.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Are you-
Good night, everybody.
Are you
Good
snowed
night,
in,
Good night.
Daniel? Are you snowed in?
Hey, Melody.
Not at the moment, no.
Night, Melody.
Good night, Melody. Good night, Matthew. Good night, Sam. Good night, Morgan, Daniel, Kim.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night,
Lots of
everybody.
love.
Bronwyn.
Nice
Good
to
night, Holly. Good night.
Good night.
Ah,
Thank you.
Morgan. Night night.